Sony has announced their not quite intended competitor to Game Pass, Mr. Black. It finally happened. We've been waiting and waiting. What is Sony going to do to at least pretend that they have the money that Microsoft does and come out with some sort of answer to Game Pass? Well, it happened this week. After having a code name and a bunch of other nonsense for weeks on end, we finally got to see what it was. And essentially what it is they took their previously existing services, which is PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now. And those were two different services that you could subscribe to have their whatever perks depending on what you might want. And they combined that into just calling it PlayStation Plus, and then now they have a tiered service that you get more and more as you go up the tiers that combine those two together. And then they added some extra little bits and pieces to this as well to sweeten the deal. And so let's go over what that's about. So the big headline is it launches first of all in June with 700 plus games and more value than ever, Mr. Black. First tier is called PlayStation Plus Essential. Comes with the same benefits that Plus members are getting today, such as the 2 monthly downloadable games, exclusive discounts, cloud storage for saved games, online multiplayer access, and no changes for existing PlayStation Plus members at that tier. That's basically what you're getting right out the gate. The pricing for that is $10 US a month or $59.99 yearly, and there's also a quarterly $24.99 if you want to go that route. So obviously, the more you commit, the more money you're saving there. Next tier up is called PlayStation Plus Extra. And the extra benefits. All of the benefits from the Essential tier plus, this is sounding like a Patreon fucking tier thing, by the way. All the benefits from Essential tier plus adds a catalog of up to 400 asterisks of the most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 games, including blockbuster hits from our PlayStation Studios catalog and third-party partners. Games in the extra tier are downloadable for play. So that gets you your PS4 fix, because that's, PS5 can play PS4 games as we know already, and so they're allowing you to basically just download that as a service and play at will. The tiers for this, $15 a month US, so we tacked $5 a month on, $39.99 quarterly, which is another $14 quarterly, or $99.99 a year, $100 a year for that tier. And the final tier, of which there is a special market-specific tier tacked onto this for reasons that we'll get to. It's called the PlayStation Plus Premium. The benefits for that provides all the benefits from the Essential and Extra tiers, plus adds up to 340 asterisks additional games, including PS3 games available via cloud streaming. This is one of the things that people were talking about a lot on Twitter specifically, the cloud streaming for PS3 instead of emulation. A catalog of beloved classic games available in both streaming and download options from the original PlayStation, PS2, and PSP generations. So some of them are downloadable and playable locally, and then others you have to stream them, similar to the PS3 offerings. It also offers cloud streaming access for the original PlayStation 2 or PlayStation, PS2, PSP, PS4 games offered in the extra and premium tiers in markets where PS Now is available or currently available. Customers can stream games including PS4 and PS5 using PS4 and PS5 consoles and the PC, which has 3 asterisks on it. I don't know where those asterisks go, but all the same. The last one, the tier for that, or the tier cost for that is $18 a month, $49.99 quarterly, $120 a year. The PlayStation Plus Deluxe in select markets, which is where cloud streaming is not available, will be offered at a lower price compared to Premium and includes a catalog of games from the PlayStation, PS2, PSP for download and play, along with time-limited game trials. Benefits from the Essential and Extra tiers are also included, and the local pricing will vary by market. So that's places where they just flat out don't have that service already and can't provide it yet. You get a little bit of a different service for a little bit less money, depending on where you are. So, for all intents and purposes, that's a lot of text to say, all right, we're combining the two services together, and we are adding the ability to stream PS3 games in some tiers, and a selection of the PS1 and PS2 games as well is going to be there available for download and play. The one thing that stood out to me, other than the fact that PS3 games were streamed and they didn't spend the money on an emulator to be able to just emulate the games locally, was the fact that there's no day one first-party games going to be on the service. So on the Game Pass, for example, pretty much every first-party game on the Xbox is available, with only a handful of exceptions really, on the Game Pass day one. Here, they're not doing that. And the president, Jim Ryan, talked about that specifically, saying that it just didn't align with their funding philosophies for these games, and that he was afraid that it would hurt the game's quality if they made them available day and date on the streaming side, which I guess means they just don't have the money to fund it, where they feel like not enough people would be converted to the service that would outpace the dollars made selling the game as a physical copy. And that's pretty much the show. What do you feel about this as somebody who was probably more interested in PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games than PS5 games right now, or even PS4 games, having the ability to play some of those PS3 from streaming and stuff? Does this seem like a pretty good service? Does this seem like it's value? Is this your premium? Is that worth the $18 a month? Or do we need to work a little bit more on what this looks like? How do you feel about this?
I'm not impressed by this at all.
All right, now if you were Sean Connery,
I'm waiting to be impressed, and I'm not impressed.
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, very depressed about this release.
Yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it.
What would you like to see differently? Or what would be worth the money, I guess?
Well, it seems like PlayStation has admitted defeat in this category, to the point where, in a roundabout way, the guy in charge was like, we just can't do what Xbox is doing. It just doesn't make financial sense. And to be fair, Xbox had to do this because of their poor Xbox One life cycle, and how bad they were losing to console wars, like bad. Xbox is just ahead. They're just, I don't even know where to begin. Is what you said. Most games, day one, you can play on Game Pass. So, if you're an avid gamer, yeah, there's going to be the odd game you're going to go out and buy, even though you still have Game Pass, of course. It's just like you have Netflix. You're still going to go and buy a movie from time to time or go to the theater or whatever, right? This is, that's whatever. Sony's issue, or at least the issue that I have with this, is, for one, it is, okay, maybe this isn't such a bad deal if you are already part of the stuff that you're already paying for, which is included in this, right? So if you're already a person that is part of the PlayStation, what is it, like Essential or the PS Plus or whatever, that they have now, they took two things they already have, basically, and molded it together. So if you're already paying for that, and then you just got to pay a couple more dollars to have access to a bunch of PS3, PS2, PS1 games, and time trials for video games, there might be some value here for those people. But obviously, PlayStation doesn't just want to make a little bit more money off their current people. They, in my opinion, I could be wrong here, but I feel like they want to tap into this on-demand market and grow a massive subscription base over the next decade. And if this is your introductory, it's not a hot one. in my opinion, to have a bunch of new people jump on board, especially if you want to target some people that already have Game Pass. If you already have Game Pass, this and you've got a PlayStation as well, I'm not sure if this is anywhere near the value that you would want to be to make another monthly commitment or yearly commitment when you already are going to play a lot of the games that get released on the PlayStation to begin with. And unless you're a retro gamer or you want to play old catalog games, which, let's be real, you can emulate those on your own PC. You can emulate those on your console. I mean, you can mod virtually anything you want. It's not like it's a Nintendo thing where it's like you've got a limited chance to play this specific it's just you're streaming the game, right? Or you can download some of them, but you're streaming the game. So I'm not going to count Sony out by any means, because look what Disney's done. You know, Disney Plus came out and they had virtually no new content. It was like old Disney shows and old Disney movies, and tons of people signed up. The only thing they had going for them at the time was like a Star Wars show. I think it was like Mandalorian first came out, or there was some show that they had that they were bootstrapping this whole thing on.
And they
then,
deep
of course,
discounted that first year too, right?
big discount, heavy discount. Like, it was super cheap. I think I spent $49 for the first year, right?
Yeah.
After the first year, it like doubled in price. So, I don't know what Sony is planning to do. If this is their plan and they're not going to be putting new releases on here, they're going to lose in this segment. They're going to sell more consoles. It's Sony. But they're going to lose this. And in another 10 years, losing this battle could mean you're losing the console wars in another decade, because this is where the gaming is going. This is just it. Everything is subscription based, right? I remember like 5, 6, 7 years ago, we used to talk about subscription. Even Netflix subscriptions were like, damn, man, like $15 here, $10 here. It's like, oh my goodness. Now everything's subscription. Everything. You know, you want a NordVPN, get it a subscription. You want Netflix subscription, Disney Plus subscription, Amazon Prime subscription. And everybody's trying to find their own little niche within the subscription thing to get people to come in and say, okay, they're doing it different. This is their added value. I don't see that here. So yeah, I'm not impressed. If this was half the price, if this was $59.99 a year for the PlayStation Plus Premium, it's a totally different ball game. And maybe they should have done that for the first year to get everybody on board, and then start adding some value and then upping the price. And let it be known here, ladies and gentlemen, this is starting price. This isn't where's this going to go in 1 year, in 3 years? If this is what you're getting here, I mean, that's I'm not, this ain't it, man. The Game Pass, they're laughing right now. They're probably sweating for a minute. They're probably like, okay, well, what's Sony going to do? And now they can just enjoy this W that they have, that they're holding on to. That is Game Pass. So, and I'm a Sony fanboy. I've got a PS5. I haven't even played the Xbox One.
I don't own an Xbox. I own a PS5.
Yeah, me too. I'm a Sony fanboy. I mean, I used to be the guy who used to defend Sony all the time and didn't really care. I was like Sony over Xbox. But like, I'm older now. I know what value is. I know the Xbox is just winning in that department. Do I still think the PlayStation's a better console? Yeah, I do. But it's not just the console, it's the games. And if you're going to rely on your old catalog, they don't even tell you the games that are available on this catalog. I mean, we could be getting like 85% dog shit games that you're never going to play. And some of your favorites, I'm sure, will be on there. But, I mean, how far does that really go for people? I don't know. Like, say, for example, you're a huge Final Fantasy fan, right? Like, you're a diehard Final Fantasy fan. Most Final Fantasy fans already own these games. Like they have these games on the shelves. Like
they probably own them on 3 different platforms. Like Final Fantasy VII's on like how many platforms?
Fucking PlayStation 1, play it on the PlayStation 2, play it on the PC, play the remake, you know what I mean? So like a lot of these games that you're hoping that are going to bring people in, most hardcore gamers have these. And most of the new generation gamers, they don't give a fuck about the old stuff. They ain't gonna turn that shit on. I mean, like, what the fuck are these graphics? What is this gameplay? This ain't it. I just want to play Fortnite, and I want to do it so that we don't have to build forts. So, like, this isn't, you know, this is. I feel like they had nothing else, and they're like, well, just give them old catalog games, third party and first party, and we'll see what happens. And yeah, this is a monthly or a yearly commitment. So even if there are 20 games on this that you just want to play and you don't want to hook up an old console, you don't want to emulate or whatever, you're going to play those games. And then what? Then what? What do you get? Where's
you got to have a reason to keep coming back, right?
Exactly. Like, you know, it's like getting Netflix for The Witcher. Okay. You get Netflix, you watch The Witcher, or HBO Game of Thrones, probably a better example.
Yeah.
HBO Game of Thrones. Tons of people get HBO. After Game of Thrones, millions of people never turn on HBO again. And so if you're going to keep paying, which some do, I'm one of them. I still have HBO, and I never watch HBO. It's just there. Some people will keep paying, but a lot won't. And they're just going to cancel, and they're going to be done with this until you give them something worthwhile. I'm not seeing that long-term worthwhile.
Yeah, so things to keep in mind is that right now, if you're going on a month-to-month basis, is that the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate's $14.99 US.
Yeah.
You know, let me just remind myself. I don't want to fuck this up. So I think like if you pay on a yearly basis, you're saving on the PlayStation Plus premium side. But if you're paying on a monthly basis, PlayStation Plus premium is $17.99 US. It's actually $3 more a month than Game Pass Ultimate, which allows you to play on the PC and on the Xbox and carry your shit everywhere. And you get day one games and you get back catalog stuff that is more hand-picked that they could get licenses for, and so it's upscaled, and it's got, some of them have like auto HDR and fucking higher frame rates and all that. And then on the PlayStation side, it's like, you know, pay $18 a month and get fucked. It's kind of like, because if you're not going to do day one games and you're not going to have like something that keeps getting like more and more like regular new content, I don't know how you're supposed to keep that up. What it reads to me right now is that it reads to me as more like, you know, you said, you know, clearly they want to build out for like a 10-year plan or some shit of like, how are we going to get into this market, this subscription-based service kind of deal. Everyone's doing it to some degree. Our main competitor is doing it big because they've got the money, but we have to probably work our way in somehow. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's the case, is that they clearly want to have a plan. But right now with this release, this doesn't scream long term to me. This screams to me. It's more like we want to upsell already like previously existing subscribers, people that are already in the system. Not people like, this is not like, I don't know how enticing this is to people that aren't already subscribing to at least one of these two tiers.
Correct.
So I think a lot of them have one of the two, and now they look at it like you said earlier, and you said, hey, you know, I've already got this or that. Now I want to get my hands on live streaming or streaming PS3 games or the old stuff.
$7, okay.
And now I increase my monthly subscription, and that brings them in some more money. But this doesn't seem like a growth into the greater market strategy. This, because I don't know who this would be for. Like you said, a lot of people on the PlayStation side, if you're talking about old games, especially if they're not being like, you know, especially if it's not going to get what, like on Xbox, at least you're getting frame rate boosts a lot of the time, or like resolution scaling or something like, so you're at least seeing and playing the game in a different way. If I just wanted to play PS1, PS2, whatever games, I've got a retro tank, or I just plug my shit into my TV, and it's if you're going to tell me it's not going to be any different, or better yet, I'm playing it locally instead of live streaming it.
Yeah.
which terrible input delay, and it just looks like dog shit unless you're blind. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't think that's the play. So it's a start. I don't think that this is their clearly their only plans. And obviously they also don't have nearly as much money available to them as Microsoft and Xbox do to be able to hemorrhage this shit and create a market on their own. So you can't expect them to go directly toe-to-toe, but I did expect them to at least have first-party day one releases.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting third-party day one like sometimes Xbox has, because now you know they're paying third-party people big bucks, right? But your first-party shit, you should probably be able to do that
on there. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a start. We'll see what comes out of it. But right now, from everything I've seen, pretty much everyone is kind of just lukewarm on it, which I don't know how you could be anything more than lukewarm, because it's kind of just a lukewarm offering. But all the same, we'll just have to wait and see what more comes out in the future out of that service.